All right, this one's going to be pretty quick. Genesis 2 describes the fact that there are 4 rivers in Eden. There's a root river, and I think it's 2:10 to 14, maybe, somewhere around there. Chapter 2, verses 10 to 14, and there are 4 rivers. There's a river, and from there 4 headwaters emerge. And I'm not going to go into the gory details. If you are the type of person who won't go look at Genesis 2 after this video isn't for you. Anyway, so there are 4 of them, and 2 of them are described similarly. It's interesting the way they are described. 2 of them are described similarly. It gives the river's name, and it says where the river is, and that's it. The third is only named. It's the Euphrates. It's the final one. Only the name is given. It doesn't say where it is. The first one, it says the name and where it is, and mentions that there's gold in it. And then it rambles on for a little bit more about how the gold in the land is good, and there also are aromatic resins there and onyx. It's the only one about which such things are said. And in the if you look at the New International Version, that little rambling is actually put in a parentheses. It's almost like a thought bubble. So there are 4 rivers. So if you think about the cross, 4 rivers emerge from a source. So you think about the vertex of the cross where the horizontal meets the vertical. That is the source. And from there, 4 rivers emerge. If you think about the horizontal beam on which Jesus's hands were nailed, they are symmetrically aligned and so therefore kind of reflections of one another. Those represent the 2 rivers that are described where they are. You know, there are 2 rivers that it says here's the river's name and here's where it is. They're similar. They're balanced. The other 2 represent the vertical beam, which is not balanced because the part of the vertical beam that goes up towards Jesus' head is shorter than the long part that goes down towards his feet. Now you would think that the long part going down towards his feet might be the one that has the rambling in it, and the short one might be the one that's just named. But what's interesting is if you think about if you meditate a lot, I'm going to stop here. If you meditate a lot, I don't know, food opera, sure. I don't really think too much about what I video while I talk. I'm in Chinatown on my way to St. Francis House. It's April 7th, 2026. So, if you meditate a lot, what I found is there are basically 4 aspects to experience. There's light, what comes through your eyes, and what your mind makes of that. There's sound or noise, what comes through your ears, what your mind makes of that. There's thought, which is the ethereal, invisible stuff that emerges from your brain, which sometimes has to do with what's going on around you and sometimes doesn't. And then there's the body. Now normally we say we have 5 senses. Talk about taste and touch and smell, but all of those are body. Those are things that you can sense inside your body. Like if you think about smell, it's a little bit different than sight and sound in that you can feel air going through your nostrils. Like it's tactile. The invasion of your body with the sense of smell is perceivable, whereas with light and sound, they're different. It's like they're just there. It's more like it's you. It's more like it's present. It's not as obvious that it's through an invasion of your body. The light comes through your eyes, and that causes what you see in your head. I'm going to switch over to this pleasant piece of graffiti here. That causes what you see in your head. And also, sound comes through your ears. It's the same thing. So sight and sound are similar senses in that sense, whereas thought and a body sense of your body, sense of the weight of your body, sense of how your skin feels, the temperature, wind, air, And in internal senses, and it doesn't have to be just discomfort. It could be just being aware of the internal senses of your body. If you focus on your breathing and you focus on your lungs, you can sometimes, you can feel the air going into your lungs, or you can feel things coming through your nose. So that body sense is all wrapped up in this one. So there's really 4 things. So you got on the cross, you have vision and hearing are on the horizontal beam. They're just kind of there. And then thinking and body are on the vertical beam. Now, if you take that and you map it to the Garden of Eden, the Garden of Eden is your mind, and the 4 rivers, the river with the rambling stuff, that goes, it has this place has gold, and then parenthetically, the gold is good, and it's also got aromatic resins and onyx. That's thinking. That's adding stuff to what, in the case of the 2 rivers that just say, here's the river's name and here's where it is. That's like vision and sound. Here it is. And there is a sense in both of those senses about location. Like if you hear something, you get some kind of idea of where it is. And also when you see something based upon the size of it, etc., you can see like how large it is. So you get sight and sound are the 2 ones that just provide the location. Thinking is the one that annotates and says, well, you got this and that and the other thing, and it's got gold, and it's almost like trying to justify itself. And if you think about when Jesus was born, he was given gold and frankincense and myrrh. That is gold, frankincense, and aromatic resins. So like Jesus was born. If you think about the parable of the weeds, where a good seed is planted and the enemy comes along and plants more, you get Jesus. There he is. He's the good seed. And then here comes gold, frankincense, and myrrh to just add to it. It's like it's almost like someone trying to justify their own existence or make themselves look good or something like that. If you read Genesis 2, like I said, I think it's 10 to 14 or 10 to 15. And then the last one, the Euphrates, is just what it is, and that is just the body. And there isn't a sense of location with our body senses because it's always the same. The body's always there. It's just there's the body. So the Euphrates, the 4th river, that has nothing said about it other than its name. It's just the body. And when you think about something that's just named, that's like you. Oh, well, this is quote unquote me. It's not quote unquote you exactly. It isn't not. It also isn't not quote unquote you. But anyway, it's a map of the mind, of human experience as we perceive it, based upon how the mind works and the physics of listening, seeing, thinking, and body. Now, when Jesus says, I came not to... So, let me step back. So the thinking, the verbose, the first river which is described verbosely is the thinking. Lots of words. The Euphrates is the bottom one. It's the body. It's the longest one. It's the one that we have the most sense of. And then vision and hearing are the 2 horizontal ones. But when Jesus says, I came not to... You can, well, if you look at the cross, you can see how that's kind of odd, because if you look at the cross and compare it to the map of the rivers in Eden, the one with the most words is the one on top with his head, which is like the shortest part of the cross in a lot of depictions of the cross. And the Euphrates, which is the most concise, is the longest one, so that seems off. So when Jesus says, I came not to bring peace but a sword, he's talking about flipping the cross upside down. So if you imagine you take the cross and you put it on a piece of paper, and then you put the verbose river description above Jesus's head, and then you put hearing and vision on either side of the horizontal, and then you put body or body sense at the bottom, you have the problem I mentioned where the most verbose part is associated with the shortest part. So that's incorrect. So what you do is you keep all the text. I almost just get hit by a bus. You keep all the text where it is, but you reorient the cross. You flip the cross upside down, and what you end up doing, you do have to end up moving horizontal, and you end up with sound and vision being a little off if you actually flipped it like that. But the idea is knowledge of good and evil versus tree of life. You want to focus on what's real and what's happening. The body is present tense. The body is what's happening right now. If you feel a sensation in your body, it is immediate. And it actually is the most immediate of all four senses. If you think about light and sound, like if I film this food opera thing over there, I'm looking at that like a tiny fraction of many nano tiny slice of the smallest possible way you could slice time in the past, because a light hit that and then it took time. It's incredibly fast, so it seems like it's instantaneous, but it isn't. It took time for the light to hit that sound, the sign, and then bounce over here. Same with the sound. You're actually always, vision and hearing is always past tense. Body is past tense in the sense that it takes time for signals to travel from a part of your body to your mind and for you to perceive it, but it's because of the proximity of your body. Because of the proximity of the locations to your mind, it's like the fastest. So it's the most immediate. And thinking, when you ponder, you can be focused on the present tense, but you can also focus on the past and the future. So that is the one where you're most distant from the present tense of what you're going on. And Jesus was well aware of Eastern thinking and the thinking that underlies Buddhism about the mind and mindfulness. And he often goes off by himself to pray. He spends 40 days in the wilderness, and there are other times he goes up to mountains to pray. He goes to the garden to pray alone. This is meditation. It is about mindfulness. It's about training your mind to be focused on the present moment. The Euphrates, the tactile present thing, you want that to be the long beam, the thing that you focus the most on. Hearing and vision, they kind of are more or less automatic. You can't turn them off. You can close your eyes, and then but you're still looking at the back of your eyelids. Or you could gouge your eyes out or plug up your ears or something. But the idea is the four rivers in Eden represent hearing, vision, thought, and body. And when you map that to the cross, you see that the amount of thinking that we do, the amount of, well, this land has gold and the gold is good, knowledge of good and evil is bad, and it has aromatic resins and onyx. That's all thinking. That's all adding to what is, and it's not present tense. And you want to do the least amount of that, the most focused on the Euphrates, the body, the instantaneous, what's happening, the tree of life. And then hearing and vision, like I said, they're sort of automatic. I have more to say about those two, but this video's gotten a lot longer than I thought, and I had a long night as usual. So that's it for now.